Mira Business FM, Dubai's home of business radio.
The morning drive as businesses adapt to a period of economic uncertainty shaped by the regional geopolitical tensions that we've all been through. Rafiq Connect has evolved with the launch of Izwetna, which is a new companionship initiative really for Emirati seniors. So to talk about how the business is navigating today's challenges and why going local could be its smartest move yet is the founder, Salzan Shalabi, is back with me in the studio. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Tim. Thank you.
It's good to have you back. Look, let's start with before we go any further, start with your original business, which is Rafiq Connect. How have you managed to balance the operational demands of a companionship project, it's a high-touch kind of project, right? And keep your overheads lean, because it's been such a tough time. This is a volatile economy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the last time I was in this seat, it was the beginning of the unfortunate situation that affected the region.
I mean, it's a few months since we've seen you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say we have definitely learned a lot. We have adapted as well. That's why we came up with new initiatives, just like the initiatives we will talk about in a bit. And we just listened. We just listened to the families that we were serving. We tried to as well hear from other people just to see what their experiences were in their home countries and try to bring the familiar thing that they were used to here in the region and in UAE.
Okay, so since we last spoke, which is nearly 4 months ago, I guess, specifically how has the business changed in this, I keep saying the phrase uncertain times, but how has it changed in uncertain times?
Well, we have definitely continued to grow, and we learned that different communities require and need different approaches. Specifically Emirati families, Emirati citizens. And that's why we have created an initiative specifically and dedicated for them called Izwetna. In Arabic, it means our pride or our support. And it basically it's tailored for their specific needs, and it's more culturally aligned and relevant and respectful.
Okay, well, I want to talk to you about this in a minute, but I'm still kind of interested in Rafiq Connect because you were just kind of kicking things off last time we met, and companionship is not that it's a new thing here, but as a business, as something with a business profile, it's a new thing. So you've had to. I mean, you launched at a time when things probably wasn't ideal, I suppose, or you were launching at that time. So shifting conditions, and I'm interested in the biggest lesson you learned since your first appearance on the show. One of the things that we talk about all the time at the moment is resiliency and how to get through the tough times. Is that the biggest lesson, or was there something else?
Definitely. I started with one operating model, and by time I felt that, okay, we're going into a different direction here.
For sure.
Which is totally fine, because this is what business is. And uncertainty now is the new constant, let's say, thing in our lives. So definitely we have learned to adapt. That's the main and key word, just adapt.
Yeah. So I suppose a lot of businesses at the moment kind of are avoiding the expansion thing or the new thing. You just kind of concentrate, you double down, don't you? But you decided that the smartest move was, while all this stuff is going on internationally, you might as well go locally, I suppose. Was that one of the ideas behind it?
True. Definitely, 100%. And on top of that, when we talk about uncertainty, it doesn't really solve the loneliness problem still. Like, if anything, human connection is even more important.
Well, it amplifies it in some cases, I guess,
exactly.
doesn't it? Yeah.
So that's why we were like, okay, let's go back to the first step. We are in UAE. It's an incredibly diverse community, but at the same time, going into the local community with the citizens, it's like just going back to the basics, It's just not just serving the community or the wider community. It's just serving the citizens who made this whole community or country that we're living in. So that was part of the decision that we took to go locally.
I mean, the need for companionship, I suppose, there are no borders to it. It's not a specific nationality that gets lonely. We all do. So that there is that need. Tell me about the new initiative. Tell me about Izwetna. How does it work? What is it? The ins and outs.
So Izwetna is operated by Rafiq Connect. It's about social companionship, but it's only catered to Emirati families and seniors. So because we listened and because we understood that Emirati families, they have different needs and very specific needs as well. Okay. For example, they only require Emirati companions with specific requirements. Those companions not the same as the other companions that we serve other families.
Okay.
They want same gender, same region. So let's say different specific list of requirements that they need in order to accept a social companionship service on top of the strong family ties that they have. So we said, okay, why not create something dedicated for them, still at the heart of the social companionship, but serving the Emirati community in a more culturally relevant way.
Okay. I mean, I did some reading last night, and some of the figures kind of shocking in a way. 1 in 6 people worldwide experiences loneliness. Lots of different surveys you have that figure as the central figure. Roughly 1 in 10 older people report that. 1 in 4 older people face social isolation. So it's a serious issue, but one of the things from this is it can have a real impact on physical health.
Definitely.
As well,
Physical health, mental well-being, being not able to wake up in the morning because you lost your purpose to live or just to do something or just to wake up in the morning to go and continue doing something good to the world. So it definitely affects all health and aspects of the person, definitely, not just mental.
And seniors are particularly vulnerable and kind of predisposed, I suppose. And it struck me that there's a real lack of culturally appropriate care in some ways. And I was thinking about this because it's something I did when I was a kid, some kind of local service, I suppose. But you gravitate towards people like you, so you can see why if I was an Emirati senior, I'd be like, I want to talk to somebody Emirati.
Yes.
It's perfectly natural.
Definitely. And it feels like, honestly, the service was built around people. So if you don't do exactly what they are looking for, it doesn't make any sense to just force them to follow whatever service that you have, like one size fits all for all families. This is not really how it works. Plus, people will trust you even more when they see that you are actually adapting to their needs. You understand their culture. You understand that they're not the same as specific nationality, for example, or someone from a different background. So that alone would create confidence and comfort from families to deal with you.
You're in a weird way, and I mean this as a compliment. You're really kind of bucking the trend at the moment, because this is not a very good AI service. This is a people service. This is you thinking, no, that's the right person. Because you have to connect in that way. It's not very good tech thing, is it?
That's the plan. That's why it was created, away from AI, technology, anything that we're living in right now that takes us away from us as human beings. Just going back to the basics, I will say that.
No, that works. But it's not. This is not medical care, and I suppose we should point that out. It's not a medical kind of care service. It's structured. It's consistent, kind of human presence. There's an emotional connection here to the community. Am I summing it up, or am I just
perfectly
using lots of words?
No, that's a perfect explanation about it. It's a social companionship. Doesn't fall under caregiving or home nursing or medical health or anything. It's just take it as if you are hiring a friend, but not really hiring, but as if you are with a friend.
But there are, I mean, I guess, and this is obviously not what it is, but there are great benefits for patients who suffer things like dementia, for example. Just the connection, the talking, so that the neurons are firing and all, just to have a conversation with somebody.
True. And to be honest with you, Tim, some families, they reached out to us and they told us that their parent is in an advanced dementia kind of stage. We told them we are not qualified to deal with them. So it's about dealing with people who at least have the right level of cognitive kind of ability, just to be aware. But other than that, it will be a huge responsibility that we are not equipped enough or skilled enough to handle these situations.
And that's why a medical service is needed. But in the early stages of that, to keep the brain working, you can see the benefits, I guess. How do you do this? Because this is a tough one. You need people to trust in the companions, of course. How do you make sure that professional or family caregivers get the right training, the right resources, the emotional support, so you can offer a level of care?
So the first time that when the family reaches out to us and they tell us what their needs are, the first time that we meet with them, it's like just a session to make sure that harmony is there. Right. In certain situations, we changed the companion because harmony wasn't there. So it happens. So
chemistry is a mad thing, isn't it? Sometimes you have it.
Exactly. So we truly listen from the first step. So if that comfort is not there from the beginning, we immediately change our approach or change the person. And based on that, we take it from there. If harmony and chemistry is there, then we continue the sessions. And of course, the moment that interaction or the first in-person meetup, let's say, happens, of course, before that, we do like a proper vetting, police clearance is there, all the personal documents of the person are collected, multiple interviews happened with that person. Of course, we make sure that we only onboard the companions that are trustworthy and reliable 100%.
Okay. How's Iswetna been received so far?
It's extremely new, but it has been received very well from certain government entities. So hopefully we are using that angle from a perspective of collaboration and partnership. So hopefully we can... the next time I come to the show, hopefully I will announce something.
There could be an announcement soon. Okay. But you couldn't possibly tell me any more details.
I hope when it's confirmed, I will tell you.
All right, then. Was launching this now kind of a move to, was it part of protecting the Rafiq Connect business or, because of everything that's going on, obviously, or was it just a gap in the market? Did you just look and think, well, why is nobody doing that?
Well, to be honest, it's the same service. But then when you look at it like, okay, I launched Rafiq, it's for everyone. But then you realize that not everyone need the same things. No, so that's why this initiative came at the very right time. That, okay, we thought that the local communities, local families or citizens would fall under Rafiq naturally, but we didn't really realize that they were requesting other requirements that they needed our full support and focus to deliver better. And that's why
you really needed to adapt it and take it in a specific direction. Okay. Was it always part of the strategy for you? Kind of, I don't want to use the phrase going local, but you know what I mean by that. Or was it hastened? Was it kind of sped up by everything that went on?
I would say a bit of both, because at the same time, you need to just listen to your customers. Well, really, I don't want to say customers, but in general, you need to listen to your customers. And when they feel that you are actually giving them comfort and confidence and whatever you are presenting them with is culturally aligned, then that's the main point and pillar of gaining their trust.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because, I mean, you're here in Dubai, so why not do it for people in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or, the UAE? Maybe, I mean, further as well, I suppose. But you're serving this market in a country a city where 200 nationalities live. I mean, it's very difficult to find the right fit for that? Or is it? I mean, I suppose you've got people from all over, so maybe you can find people from all over. I don't know. How's it been so far?
Different nationalities, actually.
I'm thinking
True.
that question through, thinking, no, that's not actually a question now. But, I mean, you've got people from everywhere. So if you had, I don't know, a Nigerian family, there is a Nigerian population kind
True.
of. But I guess it's getting to those people.
True, and also the Indian as well segment of people and families. They've been reaching out a lot to us.
Okay.
And it's very expected for different nationalities to reach out, because we are as you said, we are in a country and a community that is comprises of 200 nationalities plus or something, or
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 196 countries in the world, so I think it's less than that.
No, I've done that before. I've said, there's 215 nationalities, and somebody said there's only 196 countries. I'm like, well, there's more here.
Yeah. True, but we are serving the 250 nationalities. True.
Just say the figure with great confidence. People are like, I didn't know. Yeah, that works.
True.
Okay, so the thing is, you're in this situation now, aren't you, where you have to make a kind of a tailored service, a culturally tailored service. This is not one size fits all, as you've said. And I suppose you do that, and it makes it a stronger business proposition, but it's a whole lot more work.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So on top of listening to the families, each family they need something totally different. Like, for example, talking about the culturally more respectful kind of alignment that we're going towards, and more religious, I would say. Some families, they require 2 companions to be present, for example.
Okay.
So that's something that we would adapt to whatever this family is looking for. Some of them, they would never meet at their home, because they feel like their home, it's their personal space, very sacred. So we come up with other options where we can meet them, or how the activities that we can do with them. Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that. Okay, so meeting in a neutral kind of location, or it's almost clandestine, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's wild. But the big thing with this, I suppose, is this all hinges on trust, doesn't it? That's kind of the foundation for this.
True.
So when you introduce a new service, or you add another service to Rafiq Connect, like Iswetna, you've got to build that trust.
Definitely. So it's basically at the heart of what we do, because not just the service is new to the region, it's the family ties here are very strong, the traditions are very strong. So when you introduce something that strangers will come and hang out with you, or do the things that family members normally do, that's something requires a lot of injecting trustworthiness into the community.
And it all comes from you as well.
True.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Well, because I really enjoy doing this, and I enjoy being around people. So I feel if I reflect this in my behavior, so people maybe would even trust the service more, because I don't know.
No,
I'm just manifesting.
No, nothing wrong with manifesting. Beyond kind of the social impact of this, what have you learned about the commercial value of understanding your customer? Because it is a business as well, isn't it? I mean, you've got to be able to, turn over some money, of course.
True, of course. Well, let's say the beginning of the business wasn't as what I expected, especially that because of, again, the uncertain and unfortunate situation that happened. And now we're approaching summer as well. So there's always something. So that's why we're trying to just adapt to how the situation that we're living in is going.
There is always something.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's the lesson for all business owners, isn't it? Yeah, it's never going to be what you think.
True.
Do you think that because you had a wide business anyway, but focusing on the local community, I would guess is an important area of the business because it's where we are. That makes sense. But do you think focusing on more communities has helped you kind of focus or sharpen maybe the business model to an extent?
Of course. So when you focus on one segment of people, you listen. I would say we listen already, but you feel like you listen more. You feel like, okay, you want to do above and beyond what you are already doing just to meet and cater that segment of people that they require something different. It feels like a challenge for you that you want to like feel like, okay, challenge accepted. You feel like you want to meet that challenge.
And there's kind of a feeling now, and I wonder, because of the situation, because I feel like we've got the Dubai It campaign running at the moment, of course, which is basically a confidence campaign. But you feel as though the government is saying, look, let's get together, let's support each other. And I think you've seen a lot of that in when there's a conflict going on, that happens. Have you felt that in the business? I'm not putting this very well, but I think you know what I mean. That kind of pulling together the community spirit. Have you felt that more?
Honestly, I think that's what made me create Azwitna. To feel more local and more towards the Emirati citizens.
It's almost as though, look, I'm here and I want to offer something and pay it forward, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've got to work on my question phrasing sometimes, but I'll get there. When you talk to other SME owners or people in a similar situation, other founders, Salzan, do you find that they're also kind of looking inwards towards local solutions as well? Are you starting to see that? Or is it very much, this is my base to project to the world?
Well, I see people freaking out, honestly.
I bet, yeah.
And I feel like they need to just focus on one problem at a time, not to solve everything, because that way they will just overwhelm themselves. And definitely just go with the flow, just like these initiatives from Dubai or from other Emirates, for example. Just whatever is on a national level is being initiated, just try to grab that opportunity and reflect it on your own business. That's a very good thing as well.
So just knock things down when you can. I mean, I don't know if you have a problem, knock that down. Worry about the other problems.
True.
When you have to face them. No, that makes a lot of sense. What advice would you give other UAE businesses if somebody's looking and thinking, okay, now's the time. I'm going to do it. I think things are improving. I'm going to jump in. What advice would you give somebody looking to grow at a moment like now? I mean, you're doing it.
True. Well, I did it because I listened to my customers and I adapted. So these are the two key words. Just don't isolate yourself and then start coming up with ideas and hope they could succeed. You need to understand what the circumstances that you're going through in order to basically, again, adapt or grow and succeed based on that.
Okay. No, it makes sense. So let people tell you what they want, kind of thing.
Exactly.
That's a great sales tactic, I reckon. Do you think localization is going to become, does that give you more of a competitive advantage, do you think, in a way as well?
Yes, I believe so. Because, again, customers, well, the families or customers in general for other companies, when they feel that the businesses are built or designed around them and they are being heard and understood, then that's the core business of every business, basically. The core thing, you know what I mean? If they feel that they are understood.
It's kind of like a guiding principle, I suppose. It's where it all comes from.
Yes.
I kind of got one more question. If for anybody listening who is a founder or is thinking of founding something, but particularly for people who might be at a crossroads, they're thinking, where do I go here? Because you've kind of, it's not a turn in the road, but you've taken a slightly new direction, I suppose. What's going to be the kind of proof, if you like, that I'm going to go in this direction, or I'm going to go back towards the Rafiq Connect to go wider again?
Honestly, I'll just wait and see how the market is.
You're just going to listen,
exactly.
Aren't you? Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just going with the flow.
I like it. Listening to the community. Salzan Shalabi is the founder of Rafiq Connect. She's the brains behind another new service. It's called Azwitna, which is a companionship initiative for Emirati seniors. It's been good to talk to you. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you for coming in. If you enjoyed this discussion, share it, please. Leave us a comment. This is Mira Business FM.
Mira Business FM, the sound of success. Business FM, Dubai's home of business radio.
It's Mira Business FM. This is the Morning Drive. An update on the situation in the Gulf now. And as of late June 2026, the situation regarding the US-Iran conflict remains highly volatile. That's despite attempts, of course, to formalise a ceasefire. Here with an update and the current status is Mira Business FM's Michael Ferrara. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Tim.
First thing, give us, if you would, the status of the ceasefire, the diplomatic movements in the background right now.
Well, everything's fast-moving, Tim. By the hour, things seems to be developing between the U.S. and Iran. But the biggest development right now is that diplomacy may be back on track. U.S. and Iranian officials are reportedly preparing to meet in Doha tomorrow after agreeing to halt further military strikes. The talks are expected to focus on security in the Strait of Hormuz following several days of attacks that raise fears of a much wider regional conflict. However, before we dive deeper into that, let's just discuss when did the new waves of attacks start. The latest escalation began on Thursday when the U.S. carried out airstrikes on Iranian military sites, saying it was responding to attacks on commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Washington said, however, it targeted missile launch sites, drone facilities, and radar systems. On Saturday, tensions escalated again after another commercial tanker was reportedly attacked. The U.S. launched another round of strikes while President Donald Trump warned Iran against further aggression. Tehran responded by saying continued American military action would make diplomacy much more difficult. Sunday, lots of development as well. Iran said U.S. airstrikes were a clear violation of the June 18 ceasefire memorandum of understanding between Washington and Tehran. Also by Sunday, fears of a wider conflict grew after Iran launched missiles and drones towards U.S. military facilities in Bahrain and Kuwait. But within hours, the development I was saying earlier, U.S. officials announced that both sides had agreed to pause further strikes and return to negotiation, with Qatar once again playing a mediating role.
Okay, so that's the situation on the ground, as it were, right now. There's still the question, isn't there, of the Strait of Hormuz?
Yes, definitely. The Strait of Hormuz, it still is the central issue in this conflict because, of course, we've already discussed this multiple times, 1/5 of the world's oil passes through it. Latest news now, Iran is insisting it has sole authority over the waterway and says commercial ships should follow routes designated by Tehran. The U.S. rejects that claim, arguing the strait is an international waterway where freedom of navigation must be protected. President Trump has warned Iran to fully reopen the strait, while Tehran says it won't back down from what it considers its sovereign rights. The dispute over who controls one of the world's busiest shipping lanes is now at the heart of the upcoming talks in Doha tomorrow. So, the next few days will be crucial. We'll be watching whether the planned talks in Doha actually go ahead, whether both sides stick to the pause in military action, and whether commercial shipping can continue safely through the Strait of Hormuz. As of last week, over 100 ships have passed safely through the Strait of Hormuz.
Which is still not the capacity levels that we saw before the conflict, but starting to move. Finally, what about the current position of the Gulf states?
Saudi, the UAE, Qatar, and Oman have all called for restraint and urging both Washington and Tehran to resolve the crisis through diplomacy rather than military action. Qatar has continued its role as a mediator, while the UAE and Saudi Arabia have publicly supported efforts to de-escalate tensions. The message from Gulf capitals has been consistent. Keep the shipping lanes open, avoid further military escalation, and get both sides back to the negotiating table. So, let's see. I'm curious what's going to happen tomorrow in Doha. I hope it pushes through, though.
Let's hope so. Michael Ferrara is from Mira Business FM. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thank you, Tim.
Good to have you here. Coming up at the station, why every World Cup team wants a hit song, and also luxury going green. Can plant leather win is a question. This is Mira Business FM.
Mira Business FM, your daily guide to the markets, money, and more.
This is Mira Business FM. It's the morning drive with the UAE's 30th of June Emiratization deadline fast approaching, just over a week away. Businesses are now racing to meet targets and also to attract local talent. So joining us now, Zakaria Dole is the founder of Dowlati, which is an AI-powered Emirati hiring platform. And what it does is it does the obvious. It connects employers with local talent and vice versa. So I want to talk about the state of Emiratization, the opportunities for Emirati professionals, and also the things that businesses need to know before the deadline. Zakaria, good to have you here. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me. It really is an honor.
You're very welcome. You see the data firsthand through your platform, right? So beyond this deadline, which is looming literally next week, how has the perception of Emiratization changed among smaller businesses, but also the larger corporations this year, do you think?
Sure, absolutely. So to address kind of your point of the perception, I think if we first look at the larger employers, it's typically the ones with access to much bigger Emiratization budgets and hiring budgets, they are the employers that can really access, the diamond talent. And I think that a lot of these smaller companies as well, they just need the right tools to also be able to access truly exceptional Emirati talent. And that's what Dowlati is really all about. It's about providing companies, employers with ambitious Emirati talent that can really take them to that next level.
Okay. So what are you hearing from employers? I mean, the deadline it's next week. What are employers saying to you now?
I think there's kind of two camps of employers, really. We have the ones that have been planning all year, workforce planning, things like this, and they're getting ahead on their Emiratization goals. And then there's the other camp, which is more of a bit of a scramble, right?
I was going to say, help!
Yeah. The deadline comes and they, picking up the phone, calling any Emirati they can, extending offers, they're all over the place, scrambling to hire those UAE nationals in order to be compliant. And those are the ones that really kind of struggle now.
Yeah, they're the ones that need help. I mean, we hear a lot about the talent gap, right? That's a phrase. Is the challenge finding the right skills, or is it a mismatch in expectations between what local talent's looking for and what the businesses are actually offering?
I think there's a few actually misconceptions within Emiratization. There's three myths, I think. One of those myths is that people think that Emirati talent is too expensive to hire. I also think that another one of them is they won't stay, and there's like an unwillingness that they don't really want to work. And then thirdly, there's not enough of them. I actually disagree with all of them. I think, firstly, to address the too expensive point, there is now a set baseline minimum salary for UAE nationals, which is about 6,000 dirhams, which I think isn't far off most expat talent after visas and everything like this. Then in terms of the won't stay factor, right? If we look at why retention and turnover might be so high, I think it's because we get into a position where employers, they have this looming deadline and then they must panic hire. So they rush hire to hire any UAE national that they possibly can. And 9 times out of 10, when they do hire that UAE national talent, they're not truly a good fit for the role, right? They're just hiring from a compliance from a compliance perspective, a compliance standard, rather than someone that's truly able to, grow into that role, because ultimately that is what UAE nationals are looking for. They're looking to contribute, show their skills within the private sector. I think I'm a living example of that. I think PwC came out with a study, and I think that they said it was about 61% of young UAE nationals are actually willing and wanting to work in the private sector. As I said, I think I'm a living example. Really, the chance for career growth and trajectory for UAE nationals in the private sector is massive. And I think that, unfortunately, a lot of UAE nationals get treated more from a compliance perspective than a growth perspective. And I think that
it's ticking the box, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. That's the narrative that we really want to change at Dowlati. It's providing the employers with the best UAE national talent to really propel their company. Something that we like to say is view Emiratization as your competitive advantage, right? Not something it's just about compliance.
Yeah, okay.
Especially in this country, it gives so much to us. I think UAE nationals feel the exact same way, and they really want to be able to give back and make sure that they're in positions that are meaningful, not just the receptionist role that gets the minimum amount of work.
So it's dispelling these kind of stereotypes, these misperceptions.
Exactly.
Is important. Okay. How prepared is the private sector now compared to the previous kind of Emiratization? Well, let's call them target periods, for want of a better phrase.
Sure.
But how much better is it better?
I would say it's far more mature
Yeah.
than a few years ago. Obviously, Emiratization has come into effect for quite a few years now. The market has grown completely upwards. We have 152,000 Emiratis currently in the private sector, employed by 29,000 companies. And this new frontier is the 20 to 49 size company, SMEs also being part of this Emiratization mandate now as well. So I think the mindset has shifted faster than kind of the tools and the machinery to really support that mandate.
Okay. I'm interested in the misconceptions. I think I said misperceptions. That should be a word as well. What are the biggest misconceptions businesses still have about hiring Emirati talent? What do you see every day? What do your friends, say to you?
Yeah, as I was saying before, I think it's still those three. It's too expensive, they won't stay, and maybe there's not enough UAE national talent to actually fill the quota. But I think the supply side is definitely there. There's enough ambitious UAE nationals, but it's just the discovery. The gap is discovery in finding that talent. That's the disconnect.
Right. You mentioned there, make Emiratization, your kind of your USP, like a business advantage. But do you think companies are beginning to view Emiratization in that way, or is it still to many? It's kind of ticking the box. It's a compliance thing. We've got to do it. How is that changing?
I would say we're kind of at the frontier of change, but I do believe that most companies are still somewhat in compliance mode. The advantage framing is where the market is going. I think, the early movers are definitely getting there, and there are some truly exceptional examples with exceptional Emiratis working in those companies. And I think that that's the broader narrative that's being built now, but it's on its way up.
Okay. What are the sectors that are making the strongest progress in attracting, but also, the key is retaining the talent? Who's doing well?
So I think we see a lot of success in, the banking and financial sectors. Within Dowlati itself, we actually cover a massive range of industries. We see real estate, finance, IT, education, healthcare, and there's also a big push now to hire UAE nationals specifically in the healthcare sector. So, that will be interesting.
All right. So, and what are Emirati job seekers looking for? If there was a list of these are my requirements, if there was a reverse checklist, if you like, what are Emirati job seekers looking for from employers?
So I'm glad you asked that question, because this is really the founding story behind Dowlati, and this is why I'm so passionate about this industry. For me, being a UAE national, I think there was a little bit of a misconception that it was going to be incredibly easy for me to find a role that I could grow into, something that I really loved and I can give back to the country and things like that. While that is true, I don't think that opportunity exists for every single UAE national, right? I think, unfortunately, a lot of them, they do get stuck in just the compliance-driven roles, right? They're just looking at a salary, whereas I think for the majority of the UAE nationals, it's not just about the salary anymore. I think it's really about growth. It's about purpose. It's about, being hired for the role, because they truly fit for the role, not just for the quota itself. I think if I could try and build or say a sentence of what UAE nationals might be crying out for, it's almost like, hire me for what I can do, rather than what I represent on your compliance sheet almost.
Yeah, it was understandable, isn't it? I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely it is.
that's what anybody
Yeah,
wants.
right.
And I feel a bit of a fake asking that question in a way, but I think it's a valid question because what people look for in a job shouldn't really vary, should it? But I think that's one side of it. You know, I'm not just a tick in a box.
Yeah, exactly. You know, also for UAE nationals, I think we're very proud people.
Sure.
And they're really proud of their country. You know, they're really proud to represent, and I think that they just ultimately want to give back. You know, and in giving back, it is having a job where they feel like they can grow.
Yeah, okay. Where you make a real kind of commitment, I suppose. Has the quality and the variety of private sector opportunities, how much has it improved in recent years, Zachary?
I think that is also night and day. You know, Emiratization has been a law for a few years now. And I think 5 years ago, it was a handful of those kind of token roles, you know, very kind of basic compliance roles, right? Whereas today, we're really seeing a broad range. You know, within our platform itself, we see some roles which are marketing managers for luxury fashion brands, and we see other things for, you know, food and beverage and in the retail space. It's really just kind of engineering products. And, you know, something that's amazing is we've actually had a few space-based roles, which I'm incredibly passionate about as well. I think, you know, that's kind of the frontier of humanity, but we won't go there. You know, engineering, products, finance, space. As I said, the spread is very real, and I think it is growing. Obviously, there's an element of, well, of course that's the case because there's obviously an increased amount of Emiratization as a requirement. You know, I think now I know that now we sit in about a 10% Emiratization requirement for companies over 50 skilled employees working in their companies. So the amount of roles that kind of have had to be brought into this pool for UAE national talents has also grown.
Right. What are the challenges for businesses? Let's put the other hat on for a moment. What challenges do businesses face when it comes to recruiting local talent?
So I think you kind of have four main key ones. The first one is being discovery, right? So traditional channels, I think, are really quite slow for employees to find talent that's actually a great fit. Right. Part of the founding story actually is when I was in university, I was looking around online for, you know, potential job opportunities once I graduated, and it was a little bit of a disarray, right? There was a big disconnect between the roles that I was seeing, you know, whether that was on different job platforms, and a lot of job platforms that are actually utilized for Emiratization, for example, LinkedIn, is not, you know, curated around UAE nationals or nationalization specifically, right? So you have employers posting roles and hundreds of non-UAE nationals applying for these positions. So these poor talent acquisition managers spend, you know, hours just. The first job is filtering through who.
Yeah, the filtering is the thing, isn't it?
Exactly. So discovery is definitely one of them. Speed, I think, is another because, you know, that discovery process takes so long. It's reported within our own kind of internal systems that hiring a UAE national takes typically about 2 to 3 months, or 1 to 3. You know, it really ranges, or it's about how much access you have to those resources. But when you have a mandate, you know, you really need to be able to hire that UAE national talent quickly. So on Dolity, we've seen, you know, companies be able to actually hire 8 UAE nationals in just 2 weeks. That was one of our kind of first big testimonials that really was a light bulb moment for me and made me feel like a lot of the work that we're doing is actually worth it. Would also say that retention is a big challenge. As we mentioned before, a lot of these compliance roles, it's not actually a good fit for the UAE national. They're actually not very satisfied because there's not much growth for them. And then they decide to actually turn over and change roles. And then another one, as I was kind of talking about earlier, is the verification element. So a lot of UAE nationals, a lot of non-UAE nationals apply for the UAE national specific roles. And what actually happens sometimes is there is such an influx of non-UAE nationals to the UAE national specific roles that then, you know, your diamond Emiratis are actually missed. because there's so much noise.
We hear this from recruiters all the time that, people just think, well, I'll give it a go. But you're not an Emirati. Why would you apply for a role that specifically says Emirati or whatever specific criteria? Oh, well, you never know. But you end up potentially missing the right person, don't you? Is there enough Emirati talent available to meet, the demand?
I think definitely. This is a myth that we're super passionate about busting at Dolati. So within our launch, which was about 6 months ago now, at the Tawdeef Career Fair in Abu Dhabi, which is a Emirati-specific career fair, we've grown to about 6,000 UAE nationals within our platform today. I think what companies are saying is we can't find them. It usually actually means we don't really have the right infrastructure and the right tools to find those candidates, because a lot of a lot of employers, like I mentioned earlier, they're complaining about not being able to find UAE nationals. And where are they looking? On LinkedIn, right? Where LinkedIn is not the home of the UAE nationals, really. Right. It's its own hiring ecosystem, and then Emiratization has been, added to the top of it.
Whereas, it's been bolted on top.
Exactly, right. Yeah. Whereas, with the Dolati platform, from the ground up, Emiratization was the core of that business from day one.
But if you're Emirati, just as if you're British, American, Bangladeshi, whatever, you should be on LinkedIn, shouldn't you? You should have your profile there.
Absolutely, I have one myself, and that's actually how we reach out to a lot of employers, UAE nationals, spread the word. I think it's a great platform for spreading the word. But actually, if you ask my personal opinion, I think it's kind of moved away from the professional network that it used to be. Sometimes LinkedIn now can be a bit noisy, filled with.
Yeah, I did see a lot of Father's Day stuff yesterday, and I did think, well, is that the right platform for you? Yeah. Your daughters are very nice, I'm sure, but yeah. Let me ask you about AI as a matchmaker, and about how AI, and I suppose tech as well, can help, because Dolati you use AI to facilitate connections, right? So in a process that has got kind of traditionally relied on networking, word of mouth, how does an AI-powered approach improve the quality of the hire, rather than just, obviously, it's faster?
Sure. So before I answer that question, I just kind of want to mention one point. I think, alhamdulillah, the UAE runs and spearheads so much technological and kind of urban advancements. My question before starting Dolati was, why can't we use that same, spearhead philosophy to guide the tools that we use to actually hire the UAE nationals, right?
Okay.
So now to answer your question about how AI itself is actually transforming the hiring landscape, what's able to happen is every time there's a role posted, let's say there's hundreds of applicants coming through, rather than an employer or a talent acquisition manager looking through every single candidate profile individually, what's happened is when they sit down and they open the computer to begin with, every single candidate, every single profile is already ranked and essentially shortlisted for you, right? We will present all of your candidates, all of your applicants in an order of relevance. And how we're doing this is proprietary, like machine learning technology, in which we cross-examine the parameters of the job seeker profile to the requirements of the job posting itself. And then we can create what we call a matchability score. And then using that matchability score, we present it not only to the job seekers themselves when they're actually applying to these roles, but also the employers. And now what's great about this kind of two-sided AI scoring is the job seekers are actually applying to roles that are truly a good fit for them. And that's also what the employers are seeing, right? So by facilitating this match on both ends, you really get like a broader kind of ecosystem of AI connectivity and relevant hiring.
Okay. What is it? I don't know if this is going to be any different from what you've already said, but I'm interested because AI is this, it's this whole new frontier for most of us. What does AI reveal about what Emirati professionals are actually looking for in an employer? Is it, compensation? Are there softer factors that move the needle? Does AI reveal anything different?
I think that actually, a lot of people, they often think it's all about the salary, whereas it's actually about, I've seen a lot of compelling packages. Just by having a compelling package, you get quite a lot of traction attracting that UAE national talent.
Yeah.
It's
It's
also
the banner, isn't it? It's the lights. Yeah.
exactly. It's also about kind of career growth. I've seen roles that I find super interesting, which, to be honest, if I wasn't building this company myself, I think I would have loved to apply for them, because I do think that they're very interesting.
Open to work.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Myself being a job seeker on the application, just obviously the founder of the company, obviously I'll have a profile on it. I have seen and been matched with a lot of roles, and I'm like, wow, that's a really cool role, which is, for me, it's super positive. And these are roles that what's happening is it's looking at my work experience, right? And it's recommending my skills and my work experience to different roles that exist within that platform.
Yep.
And some of them can be, based off of your skills. So sometimes you can have maybe a potentially wacky suggestion, but actually when you read between the lines, it is really quite a good fit because we're using that, semantic AI scoring to source.
Okay. So it's a good way. It's a good way of finding it. It actually aids, doesn't it, in finding that diamond in the rough,
right?
I suppose.
100%.
Yeah, and matching. For businesses scrambling to meet June the 30th, the deadline, there's a temptation, I guess, as people scramble to take shortcuts. So, what would your advice be to a CEO, a founder, somebody running a business who's focused purely on compliance? What are they risking by ignoring the kind of retention side of the equation?
By ignoring the retention side of the equation, I think, because Emiratization is checked semi-annually, what's going to happen is, they rush hire, they do all of this, and then as soon as that second compliance window comes up, which will be in December, obviously now we're in the June window, they're just going to run into the exact same issue. So it will be a fundamentally core kind of broken problem that they're going to keep running into until they truly fix the problem at its heart. Something that I like to think about is, would you ever hire someone that's actually not a good fit for a role? Let's say if they weren't a UAE national?
It's a really good question. I mean, it should be, shouldn't it? Just the right person for that particular role at that time.
Exactly right. Exactly. You wouldn't see it in a non-UAE national. I don't know.
It's not that difficult, is it?
No, it really isn't. It really isn't. Especially with the tools that are out there now.
We're out of time, unfortunately. Zakaria Dola is the founder of Dolati, which is an AI-powered Emirati hiring platform. The deadline is June the 30th, so if you're scrambling, should have started earlier.
Yeah.
It'd be good to talk to you, Zakaria.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Mira Business FM.
Mira Business FM. The sound of success.
It's the morning driver into the round of 32 in the World Cup now, so it is knockout time, and it's often measured in goals and points. That's how football works. But this year, it's being won on an entirely different field. The chart, and I'm talking music charts. Shakira's new anthem with Burna Boy, Die Die, has captured some global attention. And MENA nations are using music to energize fans, to build national identity, and hopefully expand their influence far beyond football. So joining us to discuss the power of music in the modern World Cup and also sonic strategy, that phrase again, is Julie Hans, who is Director of Partnerships at Massive Music. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Welcome back. So Die Die is the song of the World Cup. I've got to be honest with you, I haven't heard this as much as Shakira's other song, which was what, South Africa? Was it?
Waka. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah.
No, but I do think that when you have World Cup songs, very often they become kind of a specific kind of cultural movement, don't they? If they really catch on. And if they don't, then it's kind of a corporate play in many ways, and the influence extends beyond the pitch. Is that how it works, or am I thinking about it too much, Julie?
You know, I think it's a bit of a mystery, but I have been doing a little bit of research. I'm not a football girl myself, so this was a research project. I think there's what I noticed in music and football is like there's kind of different stages of it and kind of like different cycles. There's like the music that comes before, the during, and the after.
Okay.
And so what I noticed was that the music that comes before is usually tied to like a brand campaign of some sort, where brands and companies are kind of like jumping on the trend of everyone's getting hyped for the World Cup. Let's do a campaign with a song that has to do with our national team. And then, you know, sometimes that sets the tone for how the supporters are going to behave during the matches or what they're going to sing.
Okay.
Yeah. Then there's the during, which happens a lot with the MENA teams, actually, where like they'll be making up chants during the game, like in the stadium. It'll kind of like catch on, like someone will say something and then they're all starting to chant the same thing. And then that sometimes turns into like the unofficial anthem of the team. And then there's what happens after where like maybe a song, like the Shakira song we were talking about, maybe isn't really catching on during, but afterwards it'll be like a symbol for the 2026 World Cup.
Do you know what? No, I can see that because it's like a slow burn thing. I feel as though Shakira, so good that they named her twice because it's always Shakira, as far as that's what it should be. But it feels as though the Waka Waka song took off in a different way. This one, I think you're right. It's like a slow burn. It's gonna be in the consciousness in a week's time or 2 weeks' time or at the end of the World Cup.
I mean, you know, I was looking into Shakira and her lore with the World Cup anthems. She's done 4.
That's not bad, is it?
Which is crazy. And I guess she's known for that now. She's like the World Cup musician.
The World Cup muse.
World Cup muse.
She was engaged to a guy from Barcelona for a long time.
That's right.
She's Colombian, and I guess football's massive in Colombia.
Yes, it is.
South America, of course. So that makes some sense. I mean, music and football have always been linked. And as you say, fans in the terraces making up chants. Some of the chants extremely funny and learned at a speed that is just beyond light speed. Some of them we can't mention here, they're not safe for work. But the scale to me feels different now. From a brand perspective, and this is your kind of area of expertise really, why is an original anthem or song that maybe becomes an anthem a more powerful asset for a nation rather than like a traditional campaign, like an ad campaign? What is it about the song?
I mean, I think it's like the fans feel like they own it. Like they made it, they own it, it's theirs, it's their team. It becomes, something that they associate with this specific World Cup. And yeah, I think it's like an ownership thing, kind of ownership, and it unites the team and it creates pride. And yeah, why don't we like recycle the chants, or why is the music not recycled? I think it's because like every generation kind of has their own special World Cup.
I suppose
And
so.
that's why they keep creating new chants and keep creating new music.
And I suppose if you're on the terraces or in the, well, they're not even terraces now, but you're in the seats in the stadium and you're singing the song and doing the Mexican wave and all the stuff that happens, there's a feeling of unity there, and music helps that, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. No,
Yeah.
I can see that. The other thing with music as well is, I mean, there are lots of things that they're like, songs are like signposts in your life, and they kind of punctuate certain things that happen. There's the kind of memory trigger. You know, if certain songs come on, you know, it transports you there,
Yes.
doesn't it? You relive the moment. I like that. I just like the thought of that. I'm just planting that one. What is it, do you think, that makes a song go viral? In this case, a football type song. What are the ingredients, or is it just?
I mean, this is like a question as old as time. Like, what makes something go viral? I don't have the answer. You know,
There's no science
I think
there.
if there was an answer, we would all be viral and we would all be rich. But I think the way I see it is like something that goes viral has to be tied to something that's happening in culture currently.
Okay.
And, you know, when you're looking at football specifically, like it's all the rage right now. Like everyone's obsessed with football, everyone's watching. Even if you're not into football, you're somehow tied to a friend who's watching football, or you're watching TV and there's a football campaign. So I think, you know, what makes something go viral is just, are you relevant? Is the song that you've created, is it relevant to the times? Like whether that's making a political statement or a cultural statement, or and right now, what's everyone talking about? Football. So in that way, I think if you tie music back to football, yeah, there is going to be that viral element to it where you're saying something relevant.
It's artistic, it's scientific in a weird kind of way, but we just haven't quite found the formula yet. I suppose
Yeah.
you just hit where you hit, don't
I mean,
you?
there's luck, I guess, as well.
There was a little bit of that as well.
Magic.
Plus, I suppose if you're a winning team, that helps, you know, things
I
go
mean,
along.
yes, that would also help. I mean, I think, you know, I've been seeing a lot. I think what's kind of like exciting about this World Cup is like specifically for MENA, I think it's like the first time that there's 8 MENA teams that have qualified for this World Cup. So that's a big deal. And then there's a few of them, like I think like Morocco and Egypt are doing very, very well. And a lot of people globally are surprised about that. So that's also something that's trending. So their songs are doing well. So I think, yeah, it's kind of the element of surprise as well.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Well, Morocco did really well last time.
they're
Morocco was
great.
semis last time, weren't they? So, I mean, who knows? Do you think countries, I'm saying countries kind of loosely, but it's associated with countries. Do you think there's more investment in official songs and fan anthems than there was?
I think, I mean, yeah, I think there's definitely more than, you know, probably the first World Cup. Like, people caught onto it. They saw there was a business opportunity.
It's very different days.
Different days. But I was talking to a friend, a Moroccan friend, who was like explaining to me the whole like dynamic of the music industry with the World Cup and like football in general. And that like the Moroccan music industry is kind of like on standby waiting to see like what chants are going to emerge in the stadium. And they'll like catch on and be like, okay, this is really catchy, let's turn that into a song. And then again, that kind of guarantees that element of virality of like, okay, this chant is going well, we're gonna use like, you know, the element of like memory. It's very catchy. People already recognize it. Let's turn it into a song, and that guarantees it's gonna like top the charts. So yeah, I found that so interesting. It's nothing you hear is random during this time. It's all calculated or it's all strategized. And I thought that was so interesting.
That is interesting. I
Yeah.
mean, you mentioned the MENA nations there, right? So, and this is not just about leveraging music for entertainment, but it's almost like a soft power tool, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
It's like a national branding thing. So you've got teams like you've got Morocco, Algeria comes to mind, Saudi Arabia comes to mind, using music to project a very specific image to the world. And when you do that, you can rally supporters
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nations have used music since time immemorial, I think, musical platforms to project soft power. Do you think that's one of the things that we're starting to see more? It's this sense of kind of national pride. It's the, this is what we stand for kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I work in music and like sonic branding.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about how like music has the ability to influence people whether they know it or not. And so I think in that way, yeah, music is a soft power, and it's kind of like affects the subconscious.
It can shape perceptions, can't it?
Yeah,
Music.
exactly. I think so. And I mean, like, especially, like I said before, like 8 MENA teams, it's happening in the US or in North America, but a big chunk of the games are happening in the US.
Yeah.
I think, it's pretty significant, I mean, politically. And what I've been seeing is like, it's actually going really well. And they're really welcoming the teams. And there is a lot to do with music. Like you'll see the teams will show up and they'll like post up in a city and like start singing their anthem, their unofficial anthem. And I think it makes people in the US that are there like kind of realize like how rich the culture is of every different country. And like I think it gives like context, to a team. It's not just, another team showing up to play a game. It's like, oh no, this team is coming with their culture, with their supporters, with their music, with their culture, and it kind of like anchors them as like major players.
Well, it does, and it's almost secondary to the movements. If you look at, there've been so many viral pictures of the Scottish fans marching through Boston with the bagpipes, for example, or the Dutch fans in, I think it was Miami, I can't remember, Australian fans singing songs that we can't talk about on the radio. All of those things that happen. But if you were to strategize this, and I guess in lots of ways there is strategy behind this. It's easy to see how you can put forward an image of a particular nation in the United States at a time like this, because it's on your phone in seconds. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Ah, man. What about the opportunities for the World Cup? What's happening for artists in this region, or what can you see happening for artists from this region?
I mean, it's hard to say. I think it's more like there's an opportunity for them. There's an opportunity for local artists to kind of like hop on the trends and this current event that's happening, the World Cup, and it gives them a global platform that maybe they didn't have before, where, now a country like Jordan is on this global stage, and it's like the first time that they've qualified for the World Cup, and it's a really big deal, and they have the opportunity to showcase who they have in the country, what musicians, what type of music. They just released a big song that's called like The Path of Legends, and it tells the story of like how many years they've been trying to qualify and how long it took them to get to this day, and how important the World Cup is for them, and how proud they are, and talks about like their heritage and everything. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a really good opportunity here for the global stage and global culture to listen to what's happening in the MENA countries.
I think you're right. I mean, and we've got TikTok, we've got the streaming platforms as well that change. I mean, it's changed the way we experience the World Cup. It's changed the way we experience the world, let's face it, but it is that global platform, isn't it? That, what if... Is TikTok still as relevant as it was? I feel like the last time we talked 3 months ago, but do you know what I mean? Is it still...
TikTok is going nowhere, I'm afraid.
It's still the
and
platform,
I love it.
huh?
No, it's still there. And like, again, for someone like me who's not following the matches closely, it allows me to check in a little bit and... have something to say about football, or like, because everyone, you meet people, everyone's talking about football. For someone who doesn't watch the matches every day, at least I can be like, oh yeah, Egypt is doing really well. So it's an access point. Yeah, it's a news source, it's an access point. And no, I think, TikTok is going to be, I think we'll be able to tell, at the end of the World Cup or in a few months, which song stuck or which chants stuck. I don't think we're really in the space yet where we can say like which songs are really going to be the popular ones. I think we'll be able to tell after like what stakes.
It depends who wins, doesn't it? I don't know if I
Yeah,
was
or
going to say it's going to be
whoever
France.
does something outrageous during a match, you know, like
The villains, the heroes.
yeah.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
So let's talk slightly more scientifically for a second. A couple more questions for you. The return on investment, this kind of engagement, this kind of World Cup engagement online, it's very hard to measure in sales figures, I think, particularly at the moment because we're in the thick of things.
Yeah.
But how are you seeing brands and nations use data to track the success of these kind of musical investments, if you like? What would your view on that be? I mean, is it streams? Is it sentiment? How does that come together?
Like what are the metrics, right? To track
exactly.
what is successful.
It's very difficult.
I still think it's too soon to tell. And I think because there's so many brands and not governments, but different industries across different countries, they're all banking towards the same thing. They're all like, okay, World Cup is on everyone's mind. We need to associate. And so, I think it's a bit overwhelming and it's a bit saturated as well. So I can't say. I think it's going to be like a virality thing again. It's going to be like so-and-so, like this player really liked this song and said something about it. Now it's going viral. Or this supporter did something really funny and now it's going viral and there's going to be the sound associated with it. So I think it's going to be more about the moments that stand out during the World Cup and then the sound that comes with it.
I mean, you said it there. It's this thing about associating because it's the old concept of you've got to be in it to win it. I know there is so much noise, but if you're not there, you're just not there.
I think,
That's
I think it's just something outrageous needs to happen. Like someone needs to headbutt someone like they did a while back.
Zinedine Zidane.
Oh, what a guy.
Yeah.
But I think something bizarre needs to happen.
Okay, well let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
That's Julianne's prediction for the World Cup.
Something bizarre
has to happen.
To quickly just interject for a second.
This is Farage.
Yeah. Do you think that there's an unfair advantage being played here because, all the music and sounds and everything related to, especially in FIFA, big any kind of, Premier or World Cups of any kind, there's almost, that, what is it called? The evolutionary survival sort of sound that people talk about, the thunderclaps, the percussiveness, of nature. Because as you've seen, all the FIFA music or all the, big sort of music is all percussive based.
Yeah.
If you've noticed it.
I was gonna say the FIFA video game. How a lot of music went viral because of that video game. I mean, you said, is there an unfair advantage?
There's an unfair advantage because, they're using psychology against people,
I mean, I think there's obviously music psychology, the science of music, there's certain elements in a song that are going to hype you up. Obviously.
Also the oriental response.
Yeah. There's going to be the percussion or the lyrics or, a melody that you can hum as a group or chant as a group. So I don't know if it's an unfair advantage, but I definitely think there's certain elements that are gonna catch on.
Well, I mean, in sport, you want every advantage you can when you're on the field, I suppose. I mean, I think, but I think you make a good point because lots of these songs are maybe overly percussive in some ways, but that works well in a stadium when it echoes around a stadium. And if you can keep it simple, so we can all hum it and we can all sing it, and the lyrics, they really don't need to be technical for football fans.
Like We Will Rock You, for example,
Right.
It's as simple as that. Yeah,
or
exactly
Seven Nation Army.
Yeah. But even that, it's funny because the Seven Nation Army, it's no one sings the words.
No
they're
one
just screaming the melody.
Yeah.
And then the We Will Rock You, it was made with the idea of we want to hear a stadium singing it back to us.
Yeah.
So I guess there's some songs
It's
like
remarkable how it works. I mean, it doesn't need to be brain surgery, this, does it? Let's face it.
I'm afraid you're right. I think the simpler the better with these types of things.
But I
Nothing
think
wrong with
audio
that.
production, they double, triple check it to make sure that, it kind of fits the bill. Because again, all of this comes from the concept of, the thunderclaps, everything.
Yeah.
It's, what is it called? The primordial soup.
The primordial ooze.
Yeah.
we've gotten to evolution.
No, but I think, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Yeah, it's like there's obviously like certain elements like that are going to be incorporated when these songs are being produced. It's like, okay, yes, we have the chorus, the chant, the thing that everyone's going to be like screaming. But then, yeah, like what are the extra elements that maybe people will catch on to? That like maybe if the chorus doesn't catch on, yeah, like will the percussion catch on or something? So it's like they're trying to put like little memorable elements. But it's the same, I think, with like any like themed music, like holiday music. You're always gonna have like the sleigh bells and this. Like there's definitely like the elements that that are like for that genre.
Well, lots of artists work that way as well.
Yeah.
Bryan Adams is famous for saying, look, I write to a very specific formula. That's how I've always done it. And he's found a formula that works. Ed Sheeran would probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their formulas and they work to them. And for some reason we respond to it. Final question for you, Julie. Let's look past the kind of final whistle of the World Cup. We know that I'm going France are going to win it. Which, anyway, that's my theory.
I won't say anything.
No, I know. How can a nation keep the musical momentum so that any influence they build during a tournament, and music is a big part of that, so it doesn't just fade away? How do you keep that up afterwards? Is that science or is that just good fortune?
I want to say it's good fortune. I don't know how it could really be science. I mean, yes, there's the marketing aspect where there's different record labels that are gonna push for certain songs to keep being played on radio or do well on streaming after the tournament. But I think it once again it all depends on what's gonna happen during the World Cup and
you
what
just
comes
want that
out.
moment, don't you?
I feel like there needs to be because when you look back, like all I can think about right now is the headbutt in like whatever year that was, like 2006. like you know what I mean? Like there's different like defining moments for different World Cups. And again, for someone like me who does not follow this very, very closely, and there are millions of other people who do not follow it closely, they need something to go back to. So for me, it's like, oh, I don't really know how they play the sport, but I remember this really cool song that they were playing, or this really cool chant, or this really weird thing that happened. And to me, I think it's really just going to all come down to like, what's this like memorable thing that's going to define the whole World Cup, and what's the sound that's going to be attached to that? More so than, because I don't think, I doubt, obviously there's chants that get picked up throughout the years and that get repeated, and like, the France team is still singing the same songs from like 1998 and like whatever. But I think there's still like one thing or one song or one moment that comes out of each World Cup. And like to tie it back, the Shakira song from like 2010, to me, that's the sound of the World Cup, So I think it's a really saturated space to be playing in right now. And I think a year from now, we'll see what it is that really stood out and the audio that is attached to that moment.
Okay, we're waiting for that.
We are waiting.
Particular moment. It's nice to see you. Julie Hans is the Director of Partnerships at Massive Music. Good of you to join us. Cheers.
Thank you.
For more interviews like this from Mira Business FM, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Mira Business FM, Dubai's home of business radio. Mira Business FM, Dubai's home of business radio.
It's the morning drive. Luxury fashion has traditionally been defined by heritage, by scarcity, and quite often by traditional animal-based leathers. The industry, however, is to some extent facing a reckoning with sustainability. There's a new generation of brands proving that ethics and opulence don't have to be mutually exclusive. So today on Scale or Fail, we're joined by Elke Steins, who is the founder of Vergaya. It's a Dubai-designed luxury handbag brand, and she's trying to redefine what it means to be modern luxury through, and I quote, timeless craftsmanship and innovative plant-based materials. That's what the website says. That's what Elke says, and she's here. Welcome. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
You're-
And what a nice introduction.
You're welcome. Well, I stole it from your website, so there you are. I'm interested, first of all, Elke, what was the inspiration? What led you to launch Vergaya? Because you're challenging some traditional luxury ideas here. What led you to do it?
Definitely. So one of the main reasons why I started Vergaya is because as I've been vegan for many years, it was quite difficult for me to find a nice handbag because the majority of the handbags, all the big brands, they use animal leather. And that wasn't something that I wanted to wear. And then the alternatives in the market were a bit lower tier brands, plastic derived. And that also didn't really sit well with me. And I recognized many people in my environment, people that are a bit more conscious, were having the same issue. And that's why I thought to start a luxury plant leather handbag brand.
Okay, well, most people, strength of conviction is one thing, but not many people think, look, I can't find what I want, so I'm going to go and start this myself. Why did you come to Dubai to do that?
So I've been in Dubai for 13 years already.
Oh, you were here already? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Dubai has been my home for 13 years. I initially came here straight after graduating, worked a few years as a cabin crew.
Okay.
Then I went to the corporate route. I've done the corporate roles. And then I really decided I wanted to do something for myself, something that really aligned with my values, something that I could really use my passion for to make it a success.
Okay. So you're building a brand from Dubai, which is a city known for its appreciation of the high end. We love the premium stuff. We like our luxury here. How is the appetite for this? Because this is vegan leather, if you like, or I don't know how the phraseology works, but this is a new luxury that's evolving here, isn't it? How did that come together? How have people responded to this?
So far, the response has been really positive. And I think Dubai, besides a place that really appreciates luxury, it's also a place that really appreciates innovation, entrepreneurship, and bold ideas. I think we're literally in the place where the future gets built. The things that are possible in Dubai, the things that are being built in Dubai, they're not really possible yet at other places. So if there's a place where innovation and future thinking can come to life, it is this place.
So do you feel quite empowered by being here then? Do you feel like anything is possible? Because we talk about this a lot, and I can't really explain this, but I feel as though the attitude here is very, yeah, you can do that. Have a go. Why not? Do you feel like that?
Definitely. Entrepreneurship has never been something that I really wanted to do, but as I've maybe matured and evolved and seen what's possible here and seen people around me start businesses, even though it's not easy, I definitely thought this is something that I want to try, and this is the right place to do it.
Okay. There's kind of an elephant in the room in some ways with products like this, because in the high-end market, there's this kind of equation that luxury equals legacy, right? So it must be difficult if you need to convince consumers that plant leather, for example, vegan leather, I'm not sure what you've got, I guess plant leather, it's not just a substitute, it's an upgrade, but you've got to talk people into that. You've got to convince people, haven't you? How do you do that?
It's definitely a challenge because I'm not just introducing a new brand, I'm introducing a new category. However, luxury has always been defined by evolution. At one time, fur used to be the ultimate status symbol. And then people became more aware of what is fur and where it comes from and how people actually get that material and transform it into a jacket. So then people were moving away from fur. Then the same thing happened to exotic animal skins like crocodile, snake skin, these type of things. And I really believe that regular leather, which is also animal skin, will be the next frontier. We're seeing increasingly that people make value-driven choices. And leather is a material that has been normalized for so long, which makes it very difficult for us to change the industry.
Yeah.
But now people are starting to ask more questions like, okay, what actually is it? Where does it come from? Is it really a byproduct or is it actually a co-product of quite a harmful industry? So I think there's a massive awakening happening.
So you're kind of retelling the story, aren't you? I think the current phrasing or the current parlance would be reclaiming the narrative, but you're basically retelling the story, and you're having to retell that story to get across to people that there is a better way than killing an animal.
Definitely, and I think people are very open to the idea. And when I start speaking about why I chose plant leather, you see people thinking, really asking themselves the question, yeah, I've been buying leather for so long, but why actually? Yeah, it has been normalized, but is it something that we should continue to do, or is it maybe something that we can leave in the past and move on to a kinder future?
Do you think people are starting to think? I mean, luxury brands, we're all aware, are under. There's more and more pressure to be sustainable, to become sustainable. Is plant leather getting to that kind of tipping point, do you think?
Definitely. I see it in the uptake. I see it in the way people respond. And of course, it's a slow shift. It starts with people that are becoming more and more conscious. And I think the reason, or what I would like to achieve with Vogaya, is to show people that sustainability doesn't necessarily mean that it can be luxurious, that it can be beautiful, that it can be craftsmanship. And with Vogaya, I'm combining all of those elements to show that as a luxury buyers, we can still buy beautiful handbags that make us feel good and that also come from something good and leave a better footprint at the same time.
I mean, there's a great deal of competition in this space, obviously, and I think lots of people, tell me if I'm wrong, but lots of people would think plant-based or vegan and maybe think it's not as durable or it's a bit more mass market, perhaps. Luxury, longevity, they're kind of equated with animal leather as a more durable product. How do you get through to people that actually this belongs in the premium category, and this will? I mean, how long can it last? But this will last. How do you convince people that?
So you have the science behind it, which is obviously when I went to choose which are the plant leathers that I would like to select for my brand. You see that there are strength tests that have been done by the specific leathers, and you can see the comparison to animal leather, and you can see that scientifically that it equals or it's even stronger. However, when sharing the message to the people, it's not so much about scientific proof. People want to experience it, and when they see the handbags, when they feel them, they can sense that it is actually really good quality.
It's the first thing I did this morning. Your bag's on the chair just by you there, and the first thing I wanted to do was touch it to see what it felt like, and it feels like a really nicely processed piece of leather to me, but it's not. Obviously, it's plant leather.
Yeah.
So then it becomes a luxury material, not just an eco-friendly kind of alternative, which is the one side, but you've got to position it as a luxury material. So that, again, is acceptance, isn't it? It's difficult, but it looks, I guess it's all about the look, is it?
It is, in the end.
That first impression.
We want to buy something nice. We want to feel good. We want to feel elevated. So the bags, they have to look nice, otherwise no one would buy it. And now there's the additional layer that it's sustainable, that it's a kinder choice. So there are even more reasons on why to make such a purchase.
Okay. I mentioned this at the start. Timeless craftsmanship is a pillar. That's something you pride yourself on in your brand. And I guess if you're using plant-based materials, do you have to use different manufacturing techniques than you would with traditional leather? What have you had to do in terms of the production process? Did you have to do anything different in the manufacturing?
No, it's actually quite similar, though.
Okay.
Choosing between plant leathers, there's even a much bigger option because I was thinking, which are the leathers that I would like to start with? Is it because now I have bamboo leather and coffee leather, but there's pineapple leather, apple leather, cactus, mushroom. There are so many options.
Coffee leather.
Yes, my other bag, which is a shoulder bag, it's called the Espressa, is made from coffee leather. And the coffee is sourced from Brazil, and it's made from the ground waste of the coffee.
So you make your coffee, you throw the grounds away, or I mean, they're great fertilizer, I understand that, but you can make leather from the grounds
Yes, correct.
of coffee that's being consumed.
Correct. So
no
that's
idea.
why I chose to start with these two leathers, with coffee and bamboo, because amongst the plant leathers, those are even the most sustainable, because coffee is made from the ground waste of the coffee, and bamboo is one of the most regenerative plants in the world. It grows with very little water. So it was a massive choice. Which leather do I select? But then the process with the manufacturer has actually been quite similar. The manufacturer that I chose, they also make animal leather handbags. Okay. So they already know what to do. They have the craftsmanship. They've been operating for many years. So all the things that a regular animal leather bag would have, all those craftsmanship things, all the stitching is also embedded in my handbags. They're just made from a kinder material to the planet and to the animals.
Where are they made, by the way?
They are made in China.
Made in China.
China
okay.
is the manufacturing hub in the world. They've
for
been
sure.
perfecting this for many years.
Okay, so I looked at your website, and the classic kind of what would be crocodile or alligator skin, I suppose, handbag. You have bags on there that, to me, look like crocodile or alligator skin. Was that the coffee?
Correct. That is the coffee leather bag. So the reason also why I started with these two bags, I have one tote which is made of bamboo leather, which is very soft, and then I have one smaller shoulder bag made from coffee leather, which is embossed in a type of croc-like style. So I want to show the versatility of the plant leathers, and I want to show that you do not have to kill a crocodile to wear a bag that has a crocodile leather print.
Yeah, there's a very specific feel to that. There's a specific texture to that, isn't there? But that's not the only one. So you've got coffee, you've got bamboo. Did you say pineapple?
That is one of the materials that I would like to work with in the future.
That's another material.
Yes.
Then there were cactus. Did you say as well?
Those are so. Now I started with the two bags, with the bamboo and the coffee leather. I've just launched now in February, just before the regional situation.
Great timing.
Yeah, it's been a perfect timing. But yes, I started with two, and the goal is, of course, to expand to different plant leathers, to expand to different types of bags for men, eventually belts, shoes. Basically, everything that is currently made from animal leather can be made from plant leather as well.
Okay, then different styles of leather, different looks, different colors, all that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay. The person who's willing to spend on a luxury handbag is a person, I guess, who expects a certain standard, a certain elegance. They have a certain style about them. How do you make sure that tactile experience, the kind of the hand feel of the bags, the way it sits, all that stuff meets the standards of, the luxury buyer? Because these are the people you're going for. And they're not cheap bags. They don't look cheap, I don't mean that, but they're not cheap, are they?
Yeah, so we sit at the mid-luxury segment. So we look at brands like Pollen, Demelier, Coach. This is a bit the segment that we're at.
Right.
And so by creating the experience, it started in the beginning from the design. What is the type of design that we want to start with? We focused on timeless classics, bags that can be worn for many years, the style that doesn't go out. So it's about the design. We have the manufacturer that has been manufacturing for many years, that has the craftsmanship down. Then it's about the packaging, the nice box, then you open it up with a little note inside. So the experience is literally the same as with any other premium brand.
Okay, and that's what you're going for. I had a good kind of rummage around your website. I'm not a big handbag person. You may have gathered that during our conversation. But to my untrained eye, I looked at the tote bag that you walked in with today, and I thought looks pretty classic, looks pretty timeless, classy. So it makes me think, well, who's in charge of the design? Are these your designs? Are you the person who's in charge of that aspect of it?
Yes, it's
Okay.
me. It's me.
all
Every
down to
single
you.
aspect has been me. This is the
Hard-learned
reality of
experience.
yeah, the reality of entrepreneurship, of bootstrapping.
It means you
is,
have to do the whole
exactly.
lot.
Exactly.
Okay. Have you got any background in design at all?
No, I do not have a background in design. I have always loved beautiful design. I've had many nice handbags, so I know what I want. I know what is out there. In the future, of course, when we grow, I would love to hire experienced designers. But at this stage, I'm the one that is designing and creating the collection.
No, I mean, I didn't mean that as a criticism because I think they look very classy, I have to say. So you have a good eye. I suppose that's the first thing. But this is your business. You have no choice at the moment, I suppose, but you're doing everything from collecting the money to selling the bags to modelling the bags, whatever it is that you need to do. I want to get some context from you. When it comes to, a luxury handbag is often a pretty serious purchase for a lot of people. It's very thought out. It can even be like an investment purchase in lots of ways. Could we look at pricing and how your product, you said you're positioned in kind of that mid-tier, and I know Coach, I don't know many handbag brands, I have to say, but compare your product financially, if you would, with us. Because I looked at the website and there's a range of prices. But would you say that you say that you're mid-tier?
Mid-luxury, mid-luxury,
Mid-luxury.
entry
Right.
luxury prices. So we're very far away from Chanel and Dior prices.
Sure,
We're more at
sure.
the same level of, now you have the upcoming brands, Paulin, de Melier, similar pricing segment as Coach, as Michael Kors. That is a bit the segment.
So you're kind of the, 500 to 2,500. Would that be, or is that not?
Around
represent-
15, yes,
Something like that.
around 1,500 dirhams, indeed.
Between those, you're right, okay. Do you think that luxury shoppers today are more into craftsmanship and sustainability and longevity? You talked about, the way people view purchases now, rather than the big brands and the big logos that you usually have associated with your designer kind of handbag?
I think
arena?
the big logos have been out for quite some time.
Really?
Then it became more about quiet luxury, and now it's becoming a mix of quiet luxury and value-driven consumerism. People care more and more about what it is they're wearing, what is the brand, not necessarily what is the logo, but what is the brand, what does it stand for, what does it do? And you see that also backfiring, right? You've seen in the media many big brands that had a campaign go terribly wrong, and people just don't associate with the brand anymore because they realize what that brand actually represents, or what the thoughts are that go into representing that brand or creating what that brand stands for.
So there is a change.
I think there is a massive change.
That's interesting. I suppose for any brand in the luxury sector, the challenge is always to scale without diluting the image of the brand. Is the kind of green aspect, the sustainability aspect of your business the big selling point, or is that secondary to the design of the bags?
I think they are both equal. They are definitely both equal, because to just use plant leather as the main unique selling point won't work, because if you create something from plant leather but it's not desirable and the experience isn't refined, then people won't want to buy into it. So you really have to combine every single aspect to design something that is durable and is sustainable, because if you create something, even if it's from a more sustainable material. But if it isn't desirable, if people get it and they only wear it once because they don't really like it actually, then it's not a sustainable product in the end.
Well, it's got to be functional as well. It's got to be useful, hasn't it?
Definitely.
It's got to have the pockets where you would expect the pockets, or I don't know. The straps have to be right length. All of those things. Vogaya, where does the name come from? I know it's nature and the journey of nature or something, but what does it all mean?
So Vogaya comes from two words, voyage and Gaia. So voyage represents the journey, and Gaia is the ancient mythological goddess, Greek goddess of Earth, Mother Nature. So the name represents like journey into nature, because the brand is completely embedded in nature and plant leather. So that's why I wanted to make sure that also the name represented that, besides just sounding pretty.
And is that what's going to shape your collections going forward? Is that the idea that everything is that voyage to nature? That's kind of the foundation of the brand?
Definitely. So no matter where I take the brand, nature will be at the foundation, at the core of everything that I will do. Or wherever the brand goes, nature will be embedded.
Okay. What's been the biggest challenge so far? You launched just around, end of February, early March?
Yeah, in February.
In February, okay. So it's been tough, I guess, so far. What's been the biggest challenge? Is you're building kind of a mid-luxury business, as you term it, around quite innovative materials, and then more innovative materials going forward. But what's been the toughest bit?
Well, it's been a challenging time now, I think, for many people and many businesses.
Yeah.
Though for me, I'm not just building a handbag brand. For me, it's really about changing the perception of showing people what is possible and why we can make kinder choices and what is really at the core of the brand. So I think spreading awareness is something that I'm really working on.
What about for other founders? I mean, you talked about that you want to do something different. You want to do something more ethical, more sustainable. For other people that want to maybe disrupt, it's a pretty traditional industry, the handbag industry, isn't it? But if for people that want to do something, maybe offer a more sustainable alternative, is there a lesson you've learned, a really important lesson you've learned that you could pass on to people?
I think it's really important to really find what ticks for you. What is it that you really care about? Because sustainability or doing good, there are so many different good causes. There are so many things that we can fight or that we can challenge. So find the industry or find the segment that you're really interested in, that you have some type of experience in, that you can use for good.
Okay, couple more questions for you.
Yes.
I think we've got enough time. Where do you see the luxury fashion industry headed over the next 5 years? I mean, sustainability is no longer just a buzzword. It's no longer like a tick. Sustainability is a thing now, right? But where does fashion go? Because there are so many eyeballs on fashion, because fast fashion is still huge, and that's not a sustainable industry. But it's going to become a business priority, isn't it?
Definitely. Sustainability is already, I think, at the forefront of luxury, of fashion in general. And there are many ways that sustainability shows up. So it can be about transparency of the supply chain, where our products source, who is sourcing them, how are they made, what are the materials that we use, how often can we reuse them. So many things. Sustainability in general will become a lot more in the forefront, and many more segments of sustainability will be worked on.
Okay, let's hope so. So your position you're kind of where Dubai's sort of cosmopolitan design scene and sustainability meet. Final question, what's next? What milestones are you hoping to hit, to achieve in the next year to say 5 years?
Yeah. So for Vogaya, I think I want to keep working on spreading the awareness, on growing the community, on showing everyone what plant leather is and what it can do and how beautiful and desirable it is as well, whilst contributing to a kinder world. And in terms of milestones, obviously growing the collection, seeing people wearing Vogaya, like when I'm walking somewhere on the street, and if I would see someone wear Vogaya, that would make me so happy. Not just because it's my brand, but because what it represents, because it's a shift in perception that someone went through, and because they are making kinder choices.
And somebody's buying into what you do as well. That must be a real buzz, actually, when you look and you think, oh, that's one of mine.
It's a pretty special feeling,
I
definitely.
bet it is, yeah. That's Scale or Fail today here at Mira Business FM. Elke Steins is founder of Vogaya. It's a Dubai-designed luxury handbag brand. Is that a fair way to put it?
Designed in Dubai and created for a kinder world.
There you go. All right, it's been good to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Like and subscribe. This is Mira Business FM.
Mira Business FM, your daily guide to the markets, money, and more.